So I think the area that's working quite well already is in the energy field, where actually there is a definite shift in cooperation. That's really come about between the governments themselves rather than being pushed by the Labour MPs. I think I would like to see them push in a couple of ways. One of the ways in which we boost our economy is by boosting the living standards of people, and that includes tackling poverty. And there is an extent to which the UK government can help that. There's an extent to which they also get in the way. And so as they look to review their policies in the area of poverty, I think they need to make sure that they do it in a way which builds on what's in Scotland rather than cuts into it. I think migration, got to keep going back to it, because if you look at the future finances of Scotland, this is critical. And if, say you're a Labour MP and you would quite like a Labour government in Scotland, it's going to be an issue even if you have a Labour government in Scotland, because it's going to impact their finances. So you want to get this fixed. You want to get the fiscal framework, which you'll talk about, no doubt, in a future discussion around finances, but it really does get in the way. And then I think about stuff like exports. So the Scottish Government has had, working with all its agencies and with organisations like Scotland Food and Drink and University of Scotland, an overseas campaign, export campaigns. The Scotland office is now talking about doing something similar, and having two would be ridiculous. There is one. The role of the Scotland office should be to take the existing one and beef it up through their networks rather than try and run something completely different. And what I'm interested in seeing is, can this new Labour government, these Labour MPs, can they find a way to acknowledge the things that the Scottish Government are doing that are good and that are working, and say we can help amplify that, as opposed to say, oh no, we have to have our own vision, which would be stupid.
And is there anything on the infrastructure investment side?
So yeah, when I'm saying fix the fiscal framework, that means fix that borrowing powers issue, fix that long-term ability to borrow for key investment projects. You're hearing Rachel Reeves talk about it at the UK level. We want to be able to invest in the future. We want that long-term certainty. They need to be able to give the Scottish Government both the borrowing headspace and that long-term certainty. There are things that they're doing right now down south where the Crown Estate in England is being given the ability to borrow to raise funds for investment. Crown Estate Scotland could also do with that. And so there's a question as to, is Scotland going to get parity of treatment there, or is it going to be different? And that's a big chunk of money for going into renewables industries, coastal communities. There's a big question of what happens with that.